My name is Eleni. I'm from North Central Pennsylvania. I am a mom of 3, and this is my very first YouTube video. I've been following a few vlogs on YouTube, and a number of them have done tips and tricks for YouTube, and was saying if this was something you're thinking about doing, that this is the time. So I thought I'd give it a whirl. As I said, my name is Eleni. The best way to remember how to say that is Melanie without the M, hence the name of this channel. My nicknames are also Ellie EJ, which stands for Eleni Joe, and L. I answer to pretty much all 3, but L seems to be the most popular one. I am 52 years old. I am a medical coder. That was career number 3 because it took me a while to figure out what worked best for my life. I have a bachelor's degree in Christian education with a minor in psychology from Indiana Wesleyan University. I have a master's in divinity degree from Alliance Theological Seminary in Nyack, New York, where my specialization was self-designed in Christian education, urban ministry, and counseling. I had never planned on moving back to North Central Pennsylvania when I left in 1992. The goal was to stay out of the area and work in that field. I ended up finding myself moving back in 2005. Never planned on doing so, but I've run into other classmates from school that ended up doing the same thing. In 2019, I had officially been back longer than I have been gone. I had been out of the area for 13 years. The second reason that I wanted to start this channel is because I have written a book. The working title is Groomed. My journey from spiritual... Sorry, my cat is right here and she wants attention. Her name is Wilma. So it's Groomed, my journey from spiritual oppression to freedom. I grew up in the white evangelical church. Was given a lot of different mindsets from birth. And in the process of, I wouldn't say deconstruction yet, but I ended up finding myself in an unhealthy marriage, and in 2018 had separated, and in 2019 I had filed, and my divorce was final in 2022. And during that time I went through a lot of prayer and reading and just figuring out some things that, and breaking through some of that brainwashing that I had been taught my whole life, and I wrote that all down into a book. But I have been having a lot of trouble finding a literary agent. I initially was going to self-publish, but after doing some research, primarily fueled by a podcast by Mel Robbins when she describes her self-publishing experience that she had, I think she, in 2021 or 2022 when I saw the podcast, she had a book deal fall through during COVID and had decided to self-publish, and caused me to go into a deep dive because Mel Robbins is very popular. She has a very popular podcast, lots of different books, and for her to have some struggles during self-publishing, I figured what's going to happen to me since I am nowhere near her status. So did a deep dive into self-publishing and decided that that might not be the best for me. I also had read that those individuals that have self-published books and have done well with them have usually put $100,000 to $150,000 into their book, which that is, as a single mom, that is not something that I have been able to do. If I had that kind of money, I'd actually buy myself a house. I'm currently in an apartment. So we decided to go through the regular publishing route. And from what I've read and researched, a lot of publishers do not take unsolicited manuscripts anymore. Excuse me. So I really need to find a literary agent in order to continue with the publishing of my book. I have redone my query letter now 4 times, and I think a large problem of the individuals I have heard back from, I have not really gotten any feedback back from them on what needs to be fixed. So I think the large problem is I do not have a platform. I started a Substack last year called Unplanned Activist. Was not very consistent last year. I have been trying to post at least once a month this year, and so far so good. I've been doing okay with that. But I figured if I started a YouTube channel, I might be better for me to start getting some followers and building a platform and a community. I know there's other single moms out there that have started channels. I enjoy watching a lot of their channels, so this is something I thought would give a try. The plan is to post at least once a week, either a vlog style or maybe just an adventure. I love to go hiking, maybe some cooking. Haven't really figured a lot of things out yet, so I just forcing myself to be on the side of the camera, as I do not like being on video. But we're going to give this a whirl and we'll see what happens. And I hope you'll join me as we start this new adventure. Thank you. Hi. I realized that I forgot to tell you about how I became a medical coder. When I moved back to the area in 2005, I was unable to find a position fully within my degree, but because I did have a minor in psychology, I qualified for caseworker positions. My first one was in a group home as a program specialist, which is basically a caseworker position, but for just the individuals in that particular group home. Then I left there when I was pregnant with my first child, as it was a pretty demanding position. I was also the assistant manager at that home, and so I would work a lot of extra hours and a lot of overtime, and I decided to leave that particular position and took a position working retail part-time at Lowe's when my son was an infant. And then I was able to get a position as a caseworker for the local intellectual disabilities department. I loved that job. I was there for 4.5 years. I left for an opportunity to work from home. Then I spent some time working in childcare with preschools, and then in 2014, I got a job with the local Office of Aging. I love that job. I really enjoyed my clients. I enjoyed my coworkers. The administration in that position was not the easiest to work with. There was very little training. A lot of the training that we got was just from the state. There was not a lot of local agency training. I fell back on a lot of the training and experience I had when I worked with intellectual disabilities. So it was kind of a stressful job. I had some health issues at the time, which I discovered later that the stress was actually exacerbating those health issues. So in 2015, I had an opportunity to go back to school. My now ex-husband, but the husband at the time, was and still is working for a local community college, and I was able to go back for free, which that's truly a blessing. I just had to pay for my books, and I went and got a degree in health information. which was an enjoyable major because there were a lot of other adult students in that class. And my mom had been a nurse for 25 years, so I was somewhat knowledgeable of the medical community. Working in the medical field in this area is a really decent way to go, as I live in a very small town, and I always said nursing skipped a generation, and so I did not want to go back for nursing, but medical coding was definitely something I was interested in doing. And so I went back in 2015 to school at the age of 41. Graduated at 43. And I initially got a job for what they call a MAC, which is basically you work for as with Medicare and process Medicare claims. I did that for a year, and then I got a job at a nursing home as the medical records director. I enjoyed that job immensely, but I had an hour and 15-minute commute one way. And then I was able to get a position closer to home with the medical system in Pennsylvania. And I started in ER registration. I started there in 2020, right in the middle of COVID. And then I was able to get a position with a local physician's office, still within the same medical system. And then in 2022, I started as a medical coder. I just recently was promoted to Coder 2. As I said, I do work from home, which has been a blessing. Sometimes it's a frustration because the weeks my boys are with their dad, it is very quiet. I maybe go the whole day without talking to anybody. So that's also another reason with this channel is to just make it so it's not so alone. I rarely get lonely. I'm very content being just by myself, but sometimes it's nice to have somebody to talk to. So we'll see. But I just wanted to add, how I became a medical coder, since I didn't mention that, and then I did describe where and how I got to that. So thank you. Besides being away from my boys for surgeries, which I'll discuss in a later video, I've had never been away from my boys for a long time. I found that establishing a routine was helpful in subsiding the panic attacks that I would go into when they would leave for their dads. For me, doing a Monday reset helps in getting ready for my week alone. This includes cleaning and planning out my week. I try to focus on being involved in community groups and catching up with friends on the weeks that the boys are with their dad. The weeks that they're with me, I really try and focus on being mom. It has been 4 years now. I still miss them, but it does get easier. I'm fortunate that I have been the one that takes them to school, but that will be coming to end soon, as summer is coming quickly, and I won't see them as often unless they decide to stop by, because I do kind of have an open door policy. As long as they let me know they're coming, they're welcome to come anytime. My ex and I don't have major issues with them going back and forth, so if we can work things out if something comes up. boys have been with their dad, and they will be coming back on Sunday. So the weeks that they go with their father, we have 50-50 custody. I usually try to meet up with friends. I have a couple organizations that I'm a part of that I go attend their meetings, and I usually start getting things ready for them to come back. So on Thursdays, usually try and get any laundry folded and put away, and then tomorrow, on Fridays, on my lunch break, I will run down to the laundromat and get all the bedding washed, towels. I have a washer dryer here, but it's a small unit. It's one of the stackables, so it's not the best for bedding. So I usually go down to the local laundromat. And so right now I'm just getting some laundry folded, and then I'll do my dishes. I'm one of those people who likes to get things cleaned up before going to bed. So it's been somewhat of a busy week. On Monday, we found out that we are required for mandatory overtime. So we are required to do 4 hours extra a week. So I've gotten pretty close to the 4. I'm going to keep going. We're allowed to have up to 20 hours a week of overtime. So I'll try and get in as much overtime this week as I can, since I don't have my boys. And then next week when I have them, I'll probably just stick to the 4 hours exactly. We just switched over electronic health systems. So the last year, and so they were kind of backlogged with claims, and I work in a department called denials. So coding department and denials department are both required to have mandatory overtime right now. So that's what I'll be doing the rest of this week, is trying to get some extra hours. The extra pay does help. I'm hoping to use some of that towards our vacation this year. So I'm just checking in for right now for what's been going on this week. Nobody knows I've started this channel, so I haven't been openly filming out in the public yet, but I will slowly get there. Thank you. Hi. It is now Saturday. I hope you all had an amazing day. It was nice this morning as I got to sleep in. I actually woke up before my alarm went off. And then I got an opportunity to sit and read for about an hour and a half. The opportunity to have a very quiet morning, and then went down to an Earth Day festival, which I will insert the footage from that here. 3 years. I got when the boys are with their dad to have a companion. So at the Earth Day Festival, it was raining. I got there within the first hour. There really wasn't much going on, so I'm not sure if that was because it was raining or if I just got there too early. That was the first time I had been there. I did go by myself. Like I do a lot of events by myself. I love doing things with friends, but not everybody's always available. So I've just learned that it's fun just to go off and do something on my own. If I didn't do that, a lot of times I would probably sit at home. So I just enjoy getting out and seeing new things. And then after the Earth Day Festival, I went and did some errands and got groceries. And while I was checking out the last store, I got a phone call from my youngest son. He was with his dad, and his dad's car wasn't working, so I went and picked them up and brought them back to his house, and he stayed with his car and waited for the tow truck to come. And then I came back. I filmed a snack and meal prep video. I will be posting that the week following this one is posted. I'm only going to film the weeks that I had, the weeks I do not have my boys. And then, so the plan is to do a vlog style video one week, and then the following week either do a cooking video, meal prep, hiking, or a walk. I already have one of my walks filmed that I did at one of the local trails. It's called Rails to Trails. It used to be the old railroad, and they turned it into a trail. It goes all the way up to New York, but I have not done the whole trail yet. I usually just do sections. Thank you for watching my first vlog. I've heard other creators say it's okay if things are cringe in the beginning. Things will get better as you start, so I'm hoping it wasn't too cringe. I have never edited anything, so I am learning to edit, so please bear with me as I learn to edit and hopefully at some point make it a really good flowing video. I watch a few creators who are excellent at editing, but I also know they've been on YouTube for a long time. So I will eventually get there, so please keep that in mind, that we all have to start somewhere. So thank you so much for watching, and if you made it to the end, would you please put a picture of the Earth for Earth Day? I think there's an Earth emoji. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please press the like button. And if there's this type of videos that you're interested in watching more often, please hit the subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it.